How to build AI agents for SMB automation on Azure. Hi there. Today we'll talk about how to build AI agents for SMB automation on Azure. We'll cover everything you need to know about AI agents for SMB automation on Microsoft Azure. So, let's get started. What are AI agents and how do they differ from chatbots? AI agents are autonomous software programs that can perceive their environment, make decisions, and take actions to complete multi-step goals, without waiting for a human to approve each step. A chatbot responds to what you ask. An AI agent figures out what needs to happen next and does it. The distinction matters for SMBs because it defines what you can actually automate. A chatbot answers a customer's question about an invoice. An AI agent retrieves the invoice, checks for discrepancies, emails the relevant team member, logs the action in your CRM, and schedules a follow-up, all triggered by a single customer message. Here is a quick comparison of the two. Feature chatbot AI agent decision-making rule-based or single-turn LLM multi-step, goal-oriented actions responds with text executes tasks across systems memory usually stateless can maintain context across sessions integration limited connects to APIs, databases, services human oversight required at each step configurable, often asynchronous if you want a deeper comparison of off-the-shelf copilots versus building your own agents, Copilot versus custom AI agents, which fits your SMB. Covers the trade-offs in practical detail. Why AI agents for SMB automation on Microsoft Azure make business sense. Small businesses choosing Azure for AI agent development get a few specific advantages over building from scratch or using a different cloud provider. First, Microsoft's tooling is designed to be approachable. Copilot Studio, Power Automate, and Azure AI Foundry all sit within the same identity and permissions layer. That means your agents can access SharePoint, Teams, Dynamics 365, and Outlook without complicated integration work. Second, Azure's pay-as-you-go pricing means you are not paying for capacity you are not using. A small business running agents that process 200 invoices per month pays a fraction of what a large enterprise pays. Third, Microsoft has invested heavily in making AI agent orchestration accessible to non-technical users. Many of the building blocks are low-code or no-code, which matters when your team does not include dedicated developers. According to Microsoft's 2025 Work Trend Index, 75% of knowledge workers now use AI tools at work, and the businesses seeing the strongest productivity gains are those that moved beyond single-task AI to agents handling end-to-end workflows. Core Azure services that power SMB AI agent automation. Building AI agents for SMB automation on Microsoft Azure typically involves a combination of these services. Azure AI Foundry, the central hub for building, testing, and deploying AI models and agent workflows. It includes pre-built connectors, a prompt flow editor, and access to models from OpenAI, Meta, and Microsoft. Microsoft Copilot Studio, a low-code environment for building agents that can reason, call APIs, and take actions. It goes well beyond chatbots. You can configure agents that monitor data feeds, trigger alerts, and update records in Dynamics 365 or SharePoint. Azure OpenAI Service gives your agents access to GPT-4o and other models with enterprise-grade security and compliance controls built in. Power Automate, the workflow engine that connects your agents to hundreds of business applications. When an agent decides it needs to send an email, update a record, or generate a report, Power Automate handles execution. Azure Logic Apps, for more complex or developer-built integration workflows that need to run at scale with full code control. Azure AI Document Intelligence, pre-trained models for extracting structured data from invoices, contracts, and forms, a critical capability for finance and legal automation. You do not need all of these on day one. Most SMBs start with Copilot Studio plus Power Automate, then add Azure OpenAI Service when they need more sophisticated reasoning. How to build AI agents on Microsoft Azure, a step-by-step approach. Here is a practical starting point for an SMB building its first AI agent on Microsoft Azure. Define the workflow you want to automate. Pick a specific, repetitive process with clear inputs and outputs. Invoice processing, meeting summarization, and lead qualification are good starting points. Avoid starting with something too broad like improve customer service. Set up your Azure environment. Create an Azure subscription if you do not have one. Microsoft offers Azure for Startups credits that can significantly reduce initial costs. Enable Azure AI Foundry and Copilot Studio within your tenant. Build the agent in Copilot Studio. Open Copilot Studio and create a new agent. Define the agent's goal, the data sources it can access, and the actions it can take. The visual editor requires no coding for basic agents. Connect to your data and systems. Use Power Automate connectors to link the agent to your CRM, email, ERP, or SharePoint. Azure AI Foundry lets you point the agent at your own documents through Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG. Configure agent actions. Specify what the agent is allowed to do: read records, update records, send notifications, generate documents. Start with read-only permissions and expand as you validate accuracy. Test thoroughly before deployment. Run the agent against historical data and real scenarios. Copilot Studio includes a built-in testing panel. Azure AI Foundry provides evaluation metrics for accuracy and relevance. Deploy and monitor. Deploy the agent to your chosen channel, teams, a web interface, or a back-end process. Set up Azure Monitor alerts so you know if the agent encounters errors or behaves unexpectedly. Microsoft Copilot Studio use cases beyond basic chatbots. Most businesses see Copilot Studio as a chatbot builder. It is more capable than that, and the gap between perception and reality is where SMBs find the most immediate value. Accounts payable automation: an agent monitors incoming emails, extracts invoice data using Azure Document Intelligence, matches invoices against purchase orders in your ERP, flags discrepancies, and routes exceptions to the right approver. No one has to manually open an email or check a spreadsheet. Employee onboarding: when HR adds a new employee to Active Directory, an agent automatically provisions software access, sends a welcome pack, creates onboarding tasks in your project management tool, and schedules an introductory meeting with the manager. Sales pipeline management: an agent monitors CRM records, identifies deals that have gone quiet for more than 14 days, generates a personalized follow-up email draft, and places it in the sales rep's outbox for one-click send. No deal falls through because someone forgot to follow up. Compliance monitoring for fintech: agents can scan transaction records, flag potentially suspicious activity against configurable rules, and generate reports formatted for regulatory submissions. If you work in banking or financial services, our guide on automating banking compliance on Azure covers this in more depth. Customer onboarding in financial services: an agent guides new clients through document submission, runs identity verification using Azure AI services, and updates your core banking system when verification passes. This cuts onboarding time from days to hours. The common thread: the agent completes a goal across multiple systems and multiple steps. That is what separates a real automation agent from a chatbot that answers questions. AI agent orchestration for small businesses: real-world results. AI agent orchestration means coordinating multiple agents to complete complex workflows that no single agent could handle alone. For SMBs, this is practical today, not theoretical. A logistics company using Azure might have one agent that monitors shipment data from IoT sensors, a second agent that detects delays and calculates customer impact, and a third agent that drafts and sends notifications with revised delivery windows. Each agent has a specific role. An orchestrator agent coordinates them and decides which one acts next. For fintech startups, the combination of Power Platform and generative AI is producing real productivity gains in KYC verification, fraud alert triage, and regulatory reporting. A McKinsey analysis of enterprise AI adoption found that companies deploying AI across multiple business functions see 1.5 to 2 times the productivity gains of those using AI in a single function. That is the business case for orchestration over single-task automation. For SMBs, orchestration does not require a large engineering team. Azure AI Foundry's multi-agent features let you define agent roles and coordination logic through a visual interface, with Python or REST API options for more advanced configurations. Connecting AI agents to the Microsoft Power Platform. Power Platform is the connective tissue between your AI agents and the rest of your business tools. Here is how the pieces fit together. Power Automate handles the action layer. When your AI agent decides to update a record, send an email, or create a task, Power Automate executes that action through one of its 1,000+ connectors. You can build these flows visually with no code, which keeps things manageable for teams without dedicated developers. Power BI gives your agents something meaningful to act on. Agents can query Power BI datasets to answer operational questions or identify anomalies that trigger further action. If you are getting started with business intelligence, Power BI for SMBs, turn raw data into insights as a practical starting point before integrating Power BI into your agent workflows. Dataverse is the underlying data platform that ties Copilot Studio, Power Automate, and Dynamics 365 together. Storing your agent's memory and action logs in Dataverse makes it straightforward to audit what the agent did and why, which matters for compliance-heavy industries. The key point: you do not have to build custom integrations for every tool in your business. Power Platform's connector library handles most of it, and Azure API management covers the rest. Cost considerations for deploying AI agents on Azure for SMBs. Cost is usually the first concern SMBs raise about AI agent deployment, and it is a fair one. Here is what you actually need to budget for. Copilot Studio licensing: Microsoft charges per message, around 1 cent per message, or through a capacity-based model. For most SMBs running internal-facing agents, monthly costs stay well under $500. Azure OpenAI service: costs depend on the model and token volume. GPT-4o input tokens cost approximately $2.50 per million tokens as of early 2026. A typical SMB document processing agent handling 500 documents per day uses roughly 5 to 10 million tokens per month, putting the model cost in the $25 to $50 range. Power Automate: premium connectors require a Power Automate premium license at around $15 per user per month. For agent workflows running in the background, you may only need 1 or 2 licensed accounts. Azure AI Foundry: many foundational features are included with your Azure subscription. You pay for compute when fine-tuning models, but most SMBs use pre-built models and pay only for inference. Total cost for a well-designed SMB AI agent workflow typically falls between $200 and $1,500 per month depending on volume. That compares favorably to the cost of a part-time employee handling the same tasks manually. For strategies to keep those costs down as you scale, Azure Cost Optimization, SMB savings strategies covers reserved instances, consumption alerts, and right-sizing in detail. Conclusion: AI agents for SMB automation on Microsoft Azure have crossed the threshold from experimental to practical. The tools are mature, the costs are predictable, and the path from a manual workflow to an automated agent process is shorter than most SMB owners expect. Start with one specific workflow. Build it in Copilot Studio, connect it to Power Automate, and measure the time saved. Then add a second agent. Within a few months, you can have a coordinated set of agents handling invoices, compliance checks, customer onboarding, and sales follow-ups, running in the background while your team focuses on work that requires human judgment. If you want expert guidance on building and deploying your first Azure AI agent, our team at Q Services works with SMBs and fintech organizations on exactly these implementations. Reach out to start a conversation about what automation could look like for your specific workflows.